What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Um, oops. So I just received, well, not just, but I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Alyssa Milano has pulled out of the Andrew Yang event on, um, I believe it was supposed to be December 21st, and these are my thoughts. I I respect her decision. I have no problem with her doing what she did. Um, so basically, it's like this. And again, we're getting pieces and parts. We don't know why, right? Here's what we do know. There are apparently repeated allegations of sexual nature against a Yang campaign staffer. Now, my big concern with this is that campaign staffer happens to be a guy who we all know and have seen prominently in the proximity of Andrew Yang. And if that is the case, if it were Zach, that would be a big problem. Now, I always default to I like the way Andrew Yang thinks. It's incredibly important to me because there are going to be times when he has to do things that are beyond my knowledge, beyond my scope. You know, he's the president. He's getting information way before the public. And I imagine, considering it's reported as multiple allegations or instances, I imagine that he was aware of this and he has proceeded accordingly based on the information that he has. So I will say this, because at this point I feel like all news is good news. I mean, not literally all news is good news, but in the story that I looked at last, it was out of Newsweek. It did say that Andrew Yang, his UBI would possibly put an additional $2.5 trillion into the economy by 2025, which is what I'm looking for in these stories. That part where they say, this is the situation, but by the way, this is what the guy's running on, and there's that. So, you guys are saying, say it ain't Zach. Listen, I hope it's not Zach, because it's the only person that would really be a problem for me. I mean, don't get me, it's all bad. It's all bad. But if it's Zach, that would be a big problem. That would be a reason why I would think we hadn't heard about this prior to now. All we know is that it's from one staffer to another, and it's multiple allegations, and it had not been addressed timely enough for Alyssa Milano. And like I said, I respect her for that. I will say, I hope she keeps that same energy, because I imagine that in her years in Hollywood or wherever you want to say, she's come across some characters who might have checkered past, and I have seen her be mentioned amongst other Democratic candidates recently. So I hope this is actually because of conviction and not because of politics, and her looking to not position herself, but align herself with other candidates. But like I said, I respect it. You know what I mean? If you believe in something, I mean, she is one of the more prominent names around the Me Too movement. So if she's got to stand up for something, I have no problem with her standing up in this particular case. But we don't know that Andrew Yang did anything. We don't know that Andrew Yang has anything to do with it. We understand that she feels that he didn't address it quickly enough, or at least the campaign did not. So this wasn't even an Andrew Yang event. It was an Evelyn Yang event. So it's relevant because it's not Andrew per se, it's the campaign. So maybe that person was going to be involved. We don't know, but she knows more than we know. Obviously, she knows about these allegations. So I don't have a problem with her pulling out. Like I said, I just hope she keeps that same energy regarding any other situation like this in the future, where it's not necessarily the person who she would be working with, but she feels like because they're involved, they need to address the situation accordingly. Again, we hadn't heard about any of this up until now. When I first saw the story, I thought they were talking about the situation from earlier on this year, or earlier on when they talked about the lady who worked for his startup. I thought it was that, but then I realized, oh no, this is something new that I hadn't heard of at all. So I hate to say this, all news is good news, but I trust Andrew Yang. I assume that this is something that if he could address more expeditiously, he would have, but it wasn't that type of situation. Maybe he didn't have all the information. But she was given the opportunity to provide more detail, and she did not. So she's not treating this as though she feels personally violated. She just feels like the campaign did not move quickly enough. It's going to put Andrew Yang's name in the headlines. Well, we'll see. You know what I mean? Like I said, we know who we got in office. There have been more scathing accusations coming out of the White House in the past, so we'll see what this actually means. I don't know if this is going to hurt Andrew Yang, but it's still not a good look regardless. But it is press coverage, but we'll have to see. Like I said, I trust Andrew Yang to know that if this was something that he felt like would damage his candidacy, he would have addressed it, he would have made it public, and he did not do those two things. To me, it would have to be Zach for it to be like not a big deal, like for it to really hurt the movement. If it were Zach, that would be a problem. If it's anybody else, I mean, I don't know. Oh man, you guys put a bunch of comments down there. She would say she was never Yang Gang. No, she was never Yang Gang, but she was supportive. She did give him a platform, and as far as I knew, she was on her way. And when we spoke to, I think when Yang spoke at Dallas, he was talking about how more people were going to be coming out in his support here pretty quickly or pretty soon. So, on the heels of knowing that we're getting an Obama conversation and Dave Chappelle's endorsement and things like that happening, we don't need this. But like I said, I trust Andrew Yang, and I don't think that he would sit there and know that this is something that's close to the campaign that's going to hurt him, that he would try to keep it under wraps. You wonder if Terry Hatcher is going to show up still. Yeah, I mean, who knows? But like I said, is she doing this because she legitimately feels like this is an issue? Because again, we don't know. Or is she doing this for other reasons? I don't know. I'm not going to question her integrity. So that's not what it's going to be, but I'll watch. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Andrew Yang is now going to have to speak on this, so we'll find out some additional information. Like I said, I trust that he's going to say something along the lines of this didn't have anything to do with him. There's nothing he could have done. He didn't have information. Something like that. I don't think this is going to be he knew about it and he tried to cover it up. I don't see that coming. This is not a Joe Paterno situation. He's smarter than that. We've seen the Andrew Yang hug, right? We've seen the Andrew Yang hug. He doesn't wrap the arm around on the hug. That's not a coincidence. It's a very strategic move. I imagine he thinks about these things a little bit deeper, especially considering where he's at. He can't afford to lose what sport he has. He's trying to make up ground. He can't. He's not taking no kind of chances. Milano be campaign disruption plan. I mean, she could be. And like I said, it's about her conviction. It's not about. We know she's Me Too. That's no question. But we don't know the situation. We honestly just don't know the situation. I mean, if Andrew Yang did something egregious on that defiled something that was near and dear to me, then that'd be a problem. So, like I said, I respect her for keeping that energy regarding an issue that she really cares about. But we'll see. We don't have enough information to speak on it. So this is, I guess, going to force us to have that conversation. But like I said, if it is Zach, and again, I'm not trying to disparage Zach. I'm just saying that's the only person who, to me, would make sense where he would have to say something. Like if it's some guy working in a field office, okay, or if it's his graphic design guy, all right, you know what I mean? I don't know. Did you hear about Stockton, California mayor supporting Bloomberg? I did not hear that, but I did know that the Stockton mayor didn't like Andrew Yang's UBI. She's a Biden plan. She might be. Why does she fault Yang now? I'm not mad at her she's not faulting Yang. Okay, she said positive things. She said She wishes good things to the campaign, and she said that this is not him per se. She feels like it was not addressed timely, and like I said, I respect that. You know what I mean? That's the thing. If that's the whole deal with me too, right? If I know that you're doing the wrong thing, but I'm getting a check from you, I don't want to mess up my money, so I don't say nothing. That's the whole point. So I have no problem with her doing that, as long as it's legit. As long as it's not, hey, we got to try to do something to hurt Andrew Yang. That's when I have an issue. When it's you're doing it just to take advantage of information that you have. I don't even know why she would have this information. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Why does Alyssa Milano know about the inner workings of whoever? Why does Alyssa Milano know what's going on with this staffer? I have no idea. But it will be addressed. You know what I mean? He's going to have to address it. It's going to give us an opportunity. Like I said, I trust him. So I imagine, unless it's Zach, that Andrew Yang is going to give us a response is going to make sense. So I'm not worried. She was at a bride. Yeah, I knew she was around somebody. I knew she was somebody else she was involved with, because I was thinking like, oh, Alyssa Milano, isn't she supporting Andrew Yang? And that was very recent. That had to have been a few, maybe within the last week or so. It's cancel culture. She knows Yang to take a hurting his campaign. I don't know. This is a little bit different. If it's multiple allegations against the same staffer, again, without knowing the details, I can't say that, but that's pretty specific. And it would have to be a certain staffer for it to matter as much as it possibly could. Like I said, if it's the guy in the mailroom, hey, then that's him. You know what I mean? But if it's somebody who is directly working with Andrew Yang on the daily, that's a different conversation. Zach is always Yang. They're always flying around. Yeah, but for it to be multiple allegations, that just seems... Ooh. Back off from Milano? What do you mean? I mean, I don't think anyone's attacking her. She fundraised Biden November. It was November. Okay. The lady who felt harassed reached out to Melissa several times. Oh, did she? Okay. Where are you getting that from? Because all I could find were these couple of articles, but they weren't giving me a bunch of info. We shouldn't assume it's Zach. I'm not assuming that it's Zach. I'm saying that would be the only person whose name would make me hesitate with whatever response Andrew Yang would have. There's nobody else where I would be like, where I would be concerned of what Andrew Yang's response would be. I'm 100% not. Well, if it's 100% not Zach, then there's nobody who I would be concerned with. It was a volunteer canvasser. Oh yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. As long as it's not somebody like that, I'm not concerned of this situation at all. That would be the only person that would concern me. It needs to be addressed by you. It's going to be addressed. It's going to have to be addressed. And like I said, this is what I trust Andrew Yang to do. He's the only person who I feel like is going to sit down, have a conversation about this, and it's going to go away. Alyssa Milano is a big name. She has a big voice. She got some cachet. You know what I mean? And we're trying to get women voters. So if we need this to be addressed, then let's do it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not looking at this as a negative. I'm looking at this as an opportunity. You know, how does Andrew Yang handle this situation? I know he's going to handle it the right way because, you know, he's got the character and he's shown us over and over again. When he had a situation earlier on with the former employee, there was nothing in his response about that made me think, oh no, this is trouble. No, it was over within like 48 hours, if that. It was over within 16 hours. Nothing else has come of that because there's no concern from that at all. And this is going to be the same thing. This is nothing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I respect Alyssa Milano for standing her ground. I have no problem with that. But yeah, if she's doing this because she's aligned with another candidate and this is going to hurt Andrew Yang, that would make sense. But what's Andrew Yang to do if it's a volunteer canvasser? I mean, come on. Like, is that a staffer? So, Yeah, man. The longer you're out on the trail, the more dirt they're gonna have on you. But I want Andrew Yang to have these conversations because I trust that he can handle them. I don't think that anybody else can handle them. These allegations first came out. Andrew called and spoke on one of the ladies that were airing stuff out on Twitter. He took care of it. I didn't even know who this is. Okay, so where you guys get all this information? Why can't I find anything on this? It's Nick Ryan, campaign chief. You got the name, Dylan? Okay. Dylan Wright, are you still here? If Dylan Wright is here, I need you to give me some info. You said that he got a name. If you got a name, give me information. Because one of you guys said it's a volunteer, and then Dylan says it's Nick Ryan. He giving a name. He's saying it's campaign chief. She seems like a type. Don't think it. It's all on Twitter. The first chick Twitter handle is America Lee. Okay. Okay. It's Nick Ryan and Matt Shinners? Really? When Yang was running Manhattan Prep, Kaplan was suing Manhattan Prep for some intellectual property infringement. Yang went to meet up with Kaplan. Rosa Calderon. Okay. So it's two different women? So why aren't they? I don't know why they're not publishing this now or republishing it. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to check the Politico article. As a woman, I understand. Yeah, I don't have a problem with her supporting a position. Like I don't have any issue with what Alyssa Milano has done. I don't. I have no problem with it. You know what I mean? If I believe in something and I need to stand up for it because it's coming from the top, I have 100% respect for that. Um, if it's for a different reason, I have a beef with that. But other than that, no, I don't have no problem with her sticking to her guts on this. This is fine. It's fine. I want Andrew Yang to address it. Let Andrew Yang get a moment to sit down and have a conversation. And then make sure when you write those articles about Andrew Yang and this allegation that you mentioned that he wants to put $2.5 trillion into the economy with his UBI by 2025. So that's what I'm saying. If it's, yeah, I didn't know. See, y'all are saying it's two different women. I read 5 different articles and all of them said it was multiple allegations from a staffer to another staffer. It didn't say it was two different women. So that's interesting. It's more than two, maybe 3 or more. What? Where are you getting this from? 3 or more? Why does Alyssa Milano know that? I mean, I guess you guys said that she was contacted. But I mean, this. I mean, I don't know. Now y'all making me a little bit concerned about it. Don't know the details, but those two ladies were making accusations about sexism in the campaign. Okay. They were threatening to take the story to MSM. Yang said that was in September. Dylan Wright got to be trolling. He might have to be, man, because it just every time he comments, it get bigger. It's true. Hey, listen, I'm gonna dig it up. I'm sure. Here's what's gonna happen. This is going to get picked up, okay? If MSNBC doesn't like Andrew Yang, they can't wait for something like this. Every outlet that doesn't like Andrew Yang, or every outlet, honestly, they just want the ratings. They're gonna pick this story up. So there's no question that this is 100% gonna get resolved publicly. So this is just a matter of time. If this is the issue that it's gonna take for Andrew Yang to get a little bit more time in the sun where he can explain himself, I mean, I hate to say so be it, like I'm being heartless or something. It's not that at all. It's just that they're not covering him. So I've been saying all this time, like any opportunity to get his message out is a great opportunity. Unfortunately, good or bad, and this is gonna be one of those. It's just a staffer. Let's move on. I'm very sure he'll be. Yeah, it's on Washington Examiner too. I saw like 9 different articles, but none of them had the level of detail you guys are saying. And it's yeah, if Politico is putting out all this positive stuff, then it will be a debate question because Politico is one of the few. Uh, Hold on. Uh, Politico is one of the few outlets that's actually given Andrew Yang opportunity to speak. So, um, I'm cool. Let me give you a list of names you can look up. All right, yeah, put those names down. I'll come back. I'm gonna come back. I just did my son's field trip, so I'm a little bit I'm a little off. That's why I'm in the car. But if you got names for me and I can really dig in this, let's do it. Because like I said, I trust Andrew Yang. This is nothing. This is just like the last thing. I can't imagine that Andrew Yang will put himself in a position where he's has full knowledge that one of his key members of his staff is violating women, and they're just gonna travel the country like nothing's happening. When you're polling it at 4%, nah, he wouldn't do that. If he has an opportunity to address something, it's not like he has long establishment ties, and this is no. That's not Andrew Yang. So it doesn't make sense. Let's let it get addressed. Let's let them ask the questions. Let's let CNN and whatever news outlet want to bring these women in and have the conversation. Let's do that, and then let's make sure that when they ask why didn't Andrew Yang do something, that they can prove that Andrew Yang did something. Because what I'm assuming is that he did what he was supposed to do at that moment. He didn't have enough information, or that wasn't his responsibility, or it had nothing to do with him. There's different stories. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look up Nicholas Ryan, Matt Shiners, America Lee, Twitter defected. Okay, I'm gonna look them all up. I don't understand the Yang bro culture. I don't even understand where that's even coming from. That don't even make no sense to me. That's lazy journalism. No, that's whack, man. Like, I don't even understand that. Same thing. I don't get it. Somebody came in and put that in one of my videos. Like, I was just like, what does that even mean? Because you identify that there's guys supporting a candidate, so it's bro culture. Like, what is that? Get out of here. That's corny, man. Like, attack a policy. Tell me why he's a bad candidate. Tell me why his ideas are terrible. Don't, like, the people who support somebody, what you saw them doing at that moment. Like, that, come on. Like, give me something substantial. You can do better than that. I believe in you. I believe if there's something there, you can find that and attach yourself to that. Don't worry about the nonsense. This is what happens when you're going against big money and making too much progress. Well, that's why I said if they're going to try to smear him with this, great. I think that Andrew Yang can handle it. He can. He's shown us time and time again that he can get through these situations no problem. We need to get blacks for Yang trending. All right. Yang bro culture, yeah. And a bro culture, that's another propaganda issue. I'm on my way to Los Angeles. Like Tulsi said in the last debate, when you can't fight the idea, you attack the person. Exactly. Look, you got nothing on my boy Andrew Yang, okay? The man is Teflon out here. I understand that a situation may or may not have occurred. It had nothing to do with Andrew Yang, as admitted by Alyssa Milano. I understand her need to back away from the campaign for whatever she felt like it just wasn't a good look. And again, I respect her. I like to see somebody stick to their guns, even when they're put in a situation where they might have to do something they don't necessarily want to do, but out of true conviction, they have to support a particular position. So 100% respectable for that. And I trust that Andrew Yang can navigate this storm just like he's going to do on December 19th when he gets up on a debate stage and lays a smackdown on these other jabronis. So with that said, I'm gonna check out these names that Dylan has put here in the comment section. I'm gonna drop another video on this if I find something substantial worth talking about, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we got real things that we need to be talking about when Andrew Yang gets an opportunity to speak. And this is not it, okay? If Andrew Yang ain't putting his hand on you, if it's not, if he had nothing to do with it, we need to focus on issues, all right? We need to focus on communicating to people that Andrew Yang wants to put $2.5 trillion into the economy with UBI. We want to focus on the fact that Andrew Yang wants to put democracy dollars in people's hands so they can go out and use their money to support the candidates. Because you bleeding me dry right now, Andrew. It's just request after request after request. But I'm gonna do that for you, man.